All right, man, you're ready to go.
Welcome to Race Time Radio. You'll hear from the best in Canadian U.S. racing this week. Grab a cold one and stick around.
All right, you're good. They got a car in the wall in 3.
The starter tower has signaled. We're ready to roll. It's Race Time Radio, and it starts right now. Here's your host, Joe Chisholm.
All right, buddy, you're the safe one. Keep her in one piece.
Just like that, we are away. Got to turn my mic on. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Race Time Radio. So glad you could tune in tonight. Here all on Race Time Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 167, Canada Talks. Man, what a race in California today. How about it? Kyle Busch back in Victory Lane. I am Joe Chisholm, along with Joe Chisholm Jr., right here in the studio. What's going on there, Junior? How did you like that California cooker?
Hey, it was a good one. The final one on that surface, it will definitely be missed. I think it's echoed at the beginning when that track first came around. I was never a fan of California. No, I was. I always kind of viewed it as a boring race, and over the last 6 seasons, really, it has grown on me. Yeah. Considerably. It's it's become a really cool place, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens at Auto Club. I know the rumblings have been a short track, right? Yeah. That would be super cool. A half-mile high bank or similar to thereof, Bristol. On the West Coast would be pretty neat, and there's also rumblings that it'll be just a tear up and repave. So I think that if they repave it, the place will be lightning fast. But really, it's going to take a couple of years for it to come back again. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it is a short track. That would be my prayers answered.
Yeah, kind of cool. Let me tell you who we got coming on the show tonight. We got an excellent lineup for you. How about this? We got Donald Chisholm coming up right off the hop. He, of course, drives the number 89 Nova Celtic Ford out on Canada's East Coast. Imagine he's getting ready to go for another IWK 250 and a bunch more. We'll talk to him about all that tonight. Keep in mind, he's 2016 IWK 250 champion. He's also champion in the series. So he's been kind of quiet the last couple of years, but I can well imagine he's getting ready to make some noise. We'll also hear tonight with the only short track winner from over Speed Weeks. He did it at Volusia County Speedway. We got Matt Williamson coming on the show. Holidays are over. Matty back probably up on the side of the border. We'll check in with him tonight. We'll find out all the above, but he was our lone Canadian that went to Victory Lane in at Speedweek's coverage. When you talk about dirt racing and you talk about the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing, I know we had some legend cars did some really good things at Citrus County Speedway, but from the big car perspective, Matt Williamson, he definitely got the job done. Tonight, we'll also talk about Hythe Speedway. Have you not heard of Hythe Speedway? Where is it? Well, it's about 30, 40 miles away from Grand Prairie, Alberta. So, yeah, it's out in Alberta. Beautiful little asphalt track, and we're going to catch up tonight with Ian Burgess, and we'll talk about Hythe Speedway, introduce you to Ian, and we'll find out what that Speedway's got all coming up. The Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame, the 2022 inductions were inducted just last night, and we are going to catch up with two of those inductees, two deserving candidates, as well as all the candidates from last night. We're going to hear from two of them tonight. Derek Lynch is going to join the show. Love hanging out with Derek, great guy. And, of course, we got Gary Elliott coming up, Canada's Iron Man, and he, as well, was inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. So that's what we got coming at you over the next 2 hours. But what do you say? We kick this party off with the 2016 IWK 250 champion, driver of that 89 Nova Celtic Ford. We got Donald Chisholm with us. What's going on there, Mr. Chisholm? How are you? Whoop, we got no sound from dear Donald here. No sound at all. We'll
can't hear him at all.
How's that?
There we are.
That sounds even better. What's going on there, Donald? How are you, buddy? You doing good?
Not much. Things are good. Thanks for having me on. And how are things with you guys?
Doing fantastic, man.
Yeah. Things are real good.
That's good. So the car's coming together real good. You got things all set and ready to go for the spring of 2023 now?
Yeah, no, things are in pretty good shape. George has been working away and trying to get things ready for the new season, and it's coming pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, it is. Is this a full new car for you again this year, Donald? I know you like having new pieces underneath you, but when you find success, it's a little hard to take that one and set it off to the side. Is it a new piece for you this year, or what kind of condition is that 89 Nova Celtic Ford?
Yeah, no, we decided to build a new car this winter, and we don't have it yet. So what we're working on is the car that Mike Skinner would have driven last year in the 250, and the car I had driven last year is going to be driven by Russell Smith this year. So working on that car, trying to get things ready. But, we typically have about the 3 cars and try to keep them as current as we can. So we'll replace mine, and Russell will get it, and we'll get rid of the car Russell's been driving the last year and a bit, I guess.
Donald, off the intro here, Dad introduced you as the 2016 Pro Stock Series champion. That's a long time ago, man. We're going to have to start getting some new accomplishments. Are you going to run for the championship this year, or what are you doing?
No, I don't think. We'll probably run Riverside and Halifax, Scotia Speed World. So that's 8 races, and two of my 3 kids have been racing the last number of years. So it's just with work and a few things on the go there, and the girls racing. It's been a bit of a job to try and keep up with it all. So will we ever run a full season again? Perhaps, but I've been at this a long time, so it's time for some others to pick up the slack a little bit, and we'll show up whatever weekends we can and try to help out.
I guess championship car owner sounds really good as well, right? And championship dad and all those things. So there's tons of accomplishments. I was just poking fun at you. It wouldn't be a fun interview if I didn't poke fun at you, Donald.
No, agreed. And you're right. We need to get some new accomplishments on the go. There's no question. I'm hoping we found a few things on the car later last year that hopefully is going to pay some dividends. We just haven't had the cars as good as we needed them to run as well as we had in the past. So that seems to be the way things go. You can do no wrong for a few years, and then it seems like you can do nothing right for a while. So hopefully we're in the transition back to doing no wrong for a little while.
Back to the new car. What's going to be underneath you this year? I know you've diversified a little bit manufacturer-wise. How about this year? What do you got underneath you? What's coming?
It'll be another Van Dorn chassis. So we've been predominantly Van Dorn for the last number of years. It might be 4 or 5 years now. So the guys are great to work with and try to keep us pointed in the right direction for sure. So pretty much stuck with what we've had the last while. And there is some nice things about having the 3 chassis the same. None of them are ever identically the same, but they're close enough where a lot of the parts and pieces are interchangeable.
Well, and that's probably a good thing. We're coming off Speed Weeks. I know, Donald, I think back over the years, and I can really remember watching that number 89 Nova Celtic Ford roll in the back gate at New Smyrna Speedway. Do you ever get the itch anymore? And that was quite a few years ago. Ever get the itch anymore to say, okay, guys, winter break here. Let's buzz down to Florida and get some racing in at New Smyrna?
Yeah, no, it's been a long time. I think we went for 5 years or 6 years from like 99 to about 2005. So it has been a while for sure. Again, you never say never. Just find things so busy these days with kids and business that, been tough to try and do it all. And I think if you want to do those events, you really have to do them properly, which, means you gotta know you're going to go the fall prior and start prepping, and, your engine package and your shock package. And you want to bring the right package for those kind of events. So we just, to be honest with you, haven't had the time to do it properly. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to go back and do something like that. It's quite a commitment. So, go and do that, we'd have to make sure we had all our I's dotted and T's crossed. So again, never say never, but it wasn't on the radar this year. So we'll see what next year looks like.
Well, you want to have a gun at a gunfight. And I remember that time that you did roll into the back gate at New Smyrna Speedway. There was me and there's a bunch of us all sitting up in turn 1 at New Smyrna Speedway. And I happened to notice that red 89 car. And I thought for sure the announcer said Donald Chisholm. And I thought, man, not everybody's got our last name, right? So I thought, man, that I'm pretty sure he said Chisholm, but he said Nova Scotia, I believe. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't too long that night, and we definitely all found out who Donald Chisholm was. You unloaded right off the truck, and you were rocket fast. And there's always been that heavy competition level at the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. I want to even hazard to say Junior Hanley was in the field that year that you were down there, and you did some winning. It was kind of cool watching you out there. I went, hey, that Donald Chisholm cat, he's the real deal.
Yeah, no, when we, the years we were going to Florida, there was some pretty historic heavy hitters around there at that time. Junior was there, Wayne and Dick Anderson, Freddie Query was around, a lot of good guys out of the, Midwestern parts of the U.S. So, guys that were used to winning at home and were able to win at Speed Week. So, I don't want to say that was the good old days for sure, but it was certainly a lot of guys that I looked up to and was well aware of, trying to, it was quite impressive to be at an event where you're racing against guys that you looked up to. So, when we started going to Florida, we were really new to racing, and part of the deal was to try and go down and get some experience and some seat time. So, we would go there and run as many nights as we could at New Smyrna. And, one year we even went down early in January and ran the Red Eye at Smyrna, and then ran over to Lakeland and did the Speed Fest, and then came back to New Smyrna. So we were younger and had a fair bit more time on our hands, I guess, at that point. But it was certainly a long list of impressive names that we would have competed against back in those days in New Smyrna.
Obviously New Smyrna is a tremendous undertaking, and really anytime that you cross the border and run down there in a late model style car, it's a big undertaking. It doesn't matter what track you go to or what race you go to. So it kind of all falls under the same realm, and I imagine your answer is going to be the same. But before COVID hit, we've seen a pretty big influx of Canadians taking a look at the All-American 400, right? We had guys like Taylor Holdaway. He was geared up to go. We had guys like, of course, Butcher from out there, Noggle. A handful of Canadians really zeroed in on that All-American 400. I know Josh Stoddy was geared up to go as well. I believe I want to say Cole Powell as well was going to go the year before COVID. But have you done much looking outside of the Speed Week realm at some of the other races like the Winchester 400 or the All-American 400 or those style of races, not necessarily where you need a week, but you need a couple days?
Yeah, no, we've certainly considered them over the years. Some of the standout late model shows, Winchester, even the Van Doren guys have offered to, hang on to the car for a little while later in the spring and actually have us go down and try and race it. So, again, never say never. It just, life is so busy with 3 kids, and I think we're at the hockey rink today for the second time this weekend, and so certainly would love to do some of those, and may again as life maybe simplifies a little bit, but it's certainly a little lesser commitment than speed weeks where you're there for a solid, more than a week by the time it starts and finishes up. So, again, for a while we were doing a little bit of that with the Pinty series. We were looking at these one-off races, and, we often would always run the Riverside Pinty's event. So, by going down that road, we had that car, and with all the NASCAR licensing and credentials, it was almost, just as easy to run multiple races after you had gone through the effort to gear up for one race. So, maybe that took a little bit of our focus, not away from the late model, but, we looked at those shows as a way of, going away to a different track that we weren't terribly familiar with to compete. So, it certainly seems like late model racing has enjoyed a real resurgence the last few years. So these big shows are big shows again, and pretty cool to win, and some pretty big names show up to try and compete for the win.
It's going to be awesome. That big win. How about the IWK 250? That's one of the most iconic Canadian short track races. That's going to be a cool one. You have won that one. Donald, I just got to say, if you ever decided that you were going to run back down to New Smyrna Speed Week, you'd have to tell your wife and your kids that you're going to jail for a week. Otherwise, you'd be packing all those other race cars in there and trying to get down to Citrus County to get them some laps, too. So a little bit of fibbing would have to maybe happen to get you back down at New Smyrna, buddy.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, the Legends and Bando stuff that goes on at Citrus County, that's, again, that's been on our radar as well. So just trying to figure out what the right path is, and still continue doing some racing with, allowing some time for the kids to get at it as well.
Well, I know we got lots to talk about the IWK 250. Seen the release this just a couple days ago from Joan. We got some bands all laid out to play on Thursday night. It's going to be a big old time once again at the IWK 250, but the whole season's going to be pretty cool. And I know we got Joan coming up here in a couple of weeks to start dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Camping is open for renewals. New business, not yet, but for renewals. And then in behind that, we'll open up for some new business. If by chance one of the 1,100 motorhomes doesn't want to re-back up, I can't see that happening. Once they get in there, man, they lock in. If you want to go to a race that is as close as you're going to get to a NASCAR Cup race, you got to make the IWK 250. It's pretty wild, Donald, you got to admit. What John, your dad, and you and everybody that's connected with Riverside has done has simply been amazing, and each year it just keeps getting a tick better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The event seems to continue to grow, and that was always the goal, to try and, continue growing the event to make it a bucket list race for drivers and fans alike. So, it's really turned into a 4-day, camping, concert, and lots of good, exciting racing that's on the go as well. So, that particular event's been branded the IWK 250 since probably 2007, I think. The race did exist for many years and decades prior. So I should know this, but I'm a little forgetful what version of this, what version this year will be. But it's a great time, and it's in the right part of the nice summer weather for at least this part of the country. So, it turns into a small town that shows up living around the racetrack for a few days, and, lots of fun and good times. But, it's an event I think everybody would like to be able to win, and certainly lots of them continue to show up to try and win it. So I'm hopeful and optimistic this year will be like other years, if not slightly bigger and better again.
pretty cool when you look at the IWK 250. The population at the Speedway makes the population of Antigonish actually look smaller. And it is smaller. You got more people at the racetrack than you do living in Antigonish for that weekend. That's pretty cool news. At least I think it is.
Yeah, no, it's between 800 and 900 RBs on site. Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, you just broke up a little bit there, so I'm gonna take a chance on answering the question that I think I heard. So no, it's pretty amazing to see that many RBs in town, and that much excitement for an event. That's pretty cool to see in this part of the world. So we'll just keep working away and making it one of the big shows in the country, hopefully.
It's a testament to you and your staff on how everything comes together. Donald, thanks so much for the time tonight on Race Time Radio. I know I look forward to getting you back on before the green flag goes in the air. We surely appreciate the update from the 89 Nova Celtic Ford shop. Say hi to George and all the guys and the family. Say hi to everybody. Look forward to seeing you again in 2023 at the IWK 250. We're in for a big one, buddy, and thanks.
Yeah, no, sounds good. We'll definitely say hi to everybody, and thanks again, guys, for having me on again. And take care. We'll chat soon.
I haven't experienced an IWK 250 yet. Just so you know, I got asked to be out there this year, so I'm coming out to drink your beer. I just wanted to let you know that.
Ooh.
It's yeah. So I just wanted to let you know. Just make sure you're stocked up.
We'll pack an extra cooler just for you. So love to have you.
Oh my God! Yeah, that'll be something. Don't worry. He's got to go on a different flight than me and Jerry because I don't want Jerry rolling off the plane. Thanks so much, Donald. You have a good one, buddy.
All right, guys. Thanks. Take it easy.
You bet. Donald Chisholm. He is an IWK 250 champion, and he is gonna get this car ready to go. He's got a big season all coming up. It's going to be definitely exciting. And like I say, we will check in with Joan as we get closer to the event. We'll talk lots of IWK 250 and get you up to date on all the information that you're going to need to know to be at Canada's ultimate short track race, the IWK 250. We're hitting this break. On the other side, we got Big Money Matt coming at us. That's right, Matt Williamson coming up on the other side of the break. Stay there.
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control in me. My thoughts get so bad.
From coast to coast, you're listening to Canada Talks.
Race Time Radio is brought to you by RPM Race Parts. Order today, race tomorrow. Also by VP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology. And by Dawson Dental Centers. Get your victory lane smile at dawsondental.ca. It's Canada's kickoff to 2023 at Penticton Speedway. Join us May 5th and 6th.
If you build it, they will come. The Siebert family, they're doing a great job.
It's the second annual Western Rattler 300 at Penticton Speedway, featuring Canada's top pro late models and street stocks.
Got the car on the scales right now. We're really looking forward to it.
For tickets, get to PentictonSpeedway.com. And join us live on Racetime Radio worldwide for live flag-to-flag coverage.
Riley Siebert, the winner
of the Western Rattler 300, with competitors from across Canada and the U.S.
Now, this is my house. You're not coming here to push me around. And this is probably the biggest win of my career, so this is just one of the best nights of my life. This is awesome.
All at Penticton Speedway for the second annual Western Rattler 300.
Oh, man. Well, I'm really excited about this race. This is huge for Western Canadian racing.
When you think NASCAR, think SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
This may be the most important thing that's ever happened.
You're damn right, baby.
The races.
The Daytona 500 win.
I love that we have playoff racing now.
The talk shows.
We'd love for you guys to participate as well.
The unprecedented access.
Well, I'm here at the red carpet with the fans.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Chastain did a video game move.
Also streaming on the SXM app.
I think they're happy down here.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere. Doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. Stop by a Napa Auto Parts store. You can count on Napa know-how.
Tonight's Race Time Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, New Glasgow, Antigonish, and Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. You can count on Napa know-how.
AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
Nothing connects like country music. Country music. Dig in to SiriusXM's Country Universe. The next generation on the highway, Channel 56.
I need something you.
This millennium's hits on Y2 Country, Channel 61. Or 80s and 90s prime country on Channel 58.
Play me something out.
Tap into these and more in the country category on the SXM app, included with all trials and popular plans.
A Canadian that made an indelible mark across the world, Alex Trebek is best known as the host of Jeopardy, a show he hosted over 6,300 times since his debut in 1984. Alex won 5 Emmy Awards over that stretch and is still perhaps the most popular game show host of all time. His work with charities such as World Vision was tireless, and his foundation continues to benefit children across the globe. Alex Trebek, 2006 inductee on Canada's Walk of Fame.
Taking you all the way to the track and back. It's Race Time Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, to Race Time Radio. All tonight on SiriusXM, Channel 167, Canada Talks. And hello to all of our RevTV viewers right here on Race Time Radio. Let's get back to the Zoom line, shall we? And let's welcome in our next guest. This guy, he broke into victory lane, got 2023, started off in style. You know him as Matt Williamson. Big Money Matt, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? You're looking just fine.
Thanks for having me on, Joe. I appreciate it.
Hey, you did good. You got things fired off for 2023 down in Volusia County. You can still see a little bit of tan on your face there, bud.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I didn't get out to the beach very often, but yeah, it was good down at Volusia. We picked up 2 wins down there and a 6th-place run, so probably the best start to the year that we've had ever. So that's pretty cool to do.
A lot of work goes into those big block modifieds. You got to blow those things apart, get them all ready to go. And you're not like a regular short track guy. You don't get like 30 shows a year in or 25 shows a win. You, Matt, go after the big dough races. You travel. You go to great lengths to try and get those checkered flags, those real prestigious ones. And 9 times out of 10, my friend, we see you in victory lane. There's got to be a lot said for car preparation and what you guys got to do. It's got to be monumental getting that car ready to rock.
Yeah, I mean, last year we raced 90-something times. So we certainly, get to race a lot, probably, more than most, I think. And like you said, it's tough getting the cars ready. I'm fortunate I got a few good car owners, great car owners at that. I mean, it starts up here with Wayne Kahn at S&W and obviously Buzz Chu, Paul Wendt, Jeff Barrett, Harry Barrett. I'm a pretty lucky guy that I got so many great people behind me.
Oh, yeah, and that's what it takes, right? It's more than one person. It always is. One person gets to hold the checkered flag and bring that car across the line. But if everybody on that team doesn't do what they're supposed to do, makes your job even tougher to do. What was the track conditions like this year? I know from tuning into New Smyrna Speedway every night, it was a little rainy off the beginning, but man, it got hot throughout the course of the week. And I know heat plays havoc with the dirt track. How was it at Volusia County? Was it a Met style of track?
I like to try and adapt as much as I can, but It rained actually on the Friday. We rained out Friday. We got to race Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday rained out. We got to race Saturday. So the conditions were pretty good. It was probably some of the best modified racing that I've seen down there. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but yeah, no, it was. I mean, 2 of the races finished with last lap passes. Volusia is probably one of the faster racetracks we go to, and fortunately, it fits my driving style.
Matt, there was a lot of publicity around, obviously there always is. There's a ton of NASCAR involvement. There's a ton of, the big players, whether it be in the sprint cars or late models or the modifieds, whatever it might be. There's always a little bit of extra emphasis on a place like Volusia. But one of the things that stood out to myself, but it also stood out to a tremendous amount of other people, was Travis Pastrana going out there and actually winning in an IMCA modified, or IMCA style modified, right? In his second attempt behind the wheel of a race car, or behind the wheel of one of those cars. Talk a little bit about how hard that is to do for somebody like that. I know he had great equipment and he had lots of good people in his corner, and the guy's not afraid of anything. But talk a little bit about how crazy of an accomplishment that is, and how deep that field is down there.
Yeah, I mean, they get more IMCA cars than they do big block modifieds. Obviously, I think, the cars that show up for the big block modifieds, if there's 45 of them, I think that there's probably 35 good ones, Yep. So the field's pretty deep with the big blocks, just as it is with the IMCA cars. But that's, that's pretty cool that, he could go down there and get a Gator and in his first time or however many times he's raced them cars. But the Gator trophies, even in that division and sprint cars, late models, they're pretty coveted. So shows how much natural talent the guy has. And like you said, it's pretty impressive.
So what do you got on your schedule this year?
150 races. 90
races last year. I can imagine you're not going to be able to name all the places you're going this year, but what do you got on the radar, Matt?
Yeah, actually we got, this coming weekend, we have off, hopefully do some snowmobiling before we get right into racing season. We race, the 10th of March at Hagerstown, the 16th at Sealands Grove, the 21st or something like that at Bridgeport. And then we go to Atomic in Ohio. So, and then, it keeps going. It snowballs right into November after Charlotte. So, this coming weekend's the only weekend I have off until November 5th. And, obviously you add in 3 nights a week, weekend from June to August, and then, some midweek shows plus Super Dirt Week. It's, probably going to be another 90 something plus races this year. And, looking forward to it. I think we've got some momentum coming from last year. And obviously with what we did in Florida, we got some more momentum there. So hopefully we can just keep the ball rolling and, ride it as long as we can.
Pretty safe to say, Matt, that you race full time. You don't have a 9-to-5 job through the week and then just race on the weekends.
Yeah, no, this is what I do full time. I mean, I'll build cars and stuff, to keep me busy in the wintertime, or when we have off weeks, I'll scale customers' cars, or try to keep myself busy. It's probably way more than what a 40-hour-a-week job would be by the time you add up the amount of time we spend driving to the racetrack and driving home from the races, plus the time at the racetrack, plus working on the car. I mean, it says a lot about my fiance. I don't get to be home very often in the summertime. Usually I'm at the race shop from, early in the morning till 10:30 at night. And, the one day a week off we have, I'm usually there for still 8 hours. So it's a pretty grueling sport. Takes a lot out of you, but, when you're winning and running good, it's certainly pretty cool to be successful like that.
Well, if you just keep giving her that Visa card that the numbers will wear off, it'll still work out. Why no World of Outlaw Racing for you? How come you haven't stepped into that realm?
I'll be honest. I mean, right now I've got a good thing going with the modifieds. It's tough for any sprint car team or sprint car owner to reach out and say, hey, can you come drive my car and I'll pay you 40%. It doesn't happen unless you're established. And right now I'm making money racing modifieds. And if the opportunity came up, I raced for Glenn Stiers a few times, 2 years ago, I think it was. It was a cool opportunity to do and try, but just, can't make any money doing it. So it's tough. If I did this for a hobby and I had a full-time job where I could, not rely on the income I make racing, it would be a different story. But the income I make from racing pays for my mortgage. So I can't really step out of my comfort zone and try to lose a little bit of money.
Well, it's all about taters on the table, right? You got to have taters on the table, and that's what you really are good at, Matt. When you get behind the wheel of that modified, there's going to be more than taters coming home. Either that or we're going to be eating a steering wheel, honey.
That's right. It's like I said, I'm lucky I have good car owners, and obviously they make it so that I can do what I do. So I got to really thank them.
Well, it'd be kind of cool to see. Well, we see Stuart Friesen in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He tends to do pretty good in there. An opportunity like that would be good for you, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty good opportunity with Chris Larson owning that stuff, and gives him the opportunity to go and race the Craftsman truck deal. But I don't know as to say that, there's a lot of money in it. I think that they're spending more than what they're making. And, fortunately the modified stuff right now with Brett Deyo putting up $25,000 to win races pretty much every other week, there's a lot of money to be made. It's a good time to be a modified driver. I think that probably, over the last 50 years, this is the best time to be a modified driver because there's so many big money races. I don't know as to say that we've ever had this many high paying races ever. So it's a good time to be hitting my peak in my career, and hopefully I can, like I said, ride it as long as possible.
Is there going to be a few of those big money races up here in Canada? I would imagine there's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty big races coming up in Quebec. The Short Track Super Series is coming to Quebec for the first time ever in its history. So those are two 10,000 win races. Cornwall just posted that they're going to have a bunch of 10,000 win races, and the Super Dirt Series coming to Drummondville and Brockville. So it's a pretty good time for Canadian racing. And as far as modified racing goes, it's been a few years since COVID happened that the touring series didn't come to Canada. So fortunately this year we've got two good touring series coming to Canada at a bunch of different racetracks. So, certainly come July and August, check that out for sure.
Well, we genuinely appreciate your time, my friend. Congratulations on getting 2023 kicked off in style. Matt, you always represent Canada extremely well. And from all of us up here, thanks for doing what you do, and good luck for the full season. I know we'll be checking in, and I know when you have time, you'll jump on here with us, and we genuinely appreciate the time. You go get them, Matty.
All right, thank you. Have me on anytime. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. That is Matt Williamson. Big Money Matt, they call him. And they call him that for a reason. Just a dynamite competitor. Just a great guy, Junior.
Yeah, for sure. When you look at the modified realm, if you will, it's kind of like where super late model racing used to be back in the ASA days, when you had guys like Dale Earnhardt, and you had Mark Martin and Dick Trickle and Sauter and all those guys back in the day in super late model racing. You could make a living doing super late model racing on asphalt.
Yep.
And when you look at the amount of payout races or high payout races, it gives these guys opportunity to race numerous times a week. There are definitely losers, right? Mm-hmm. There are races where you're not going to make money, and there's quite a few races where you're not going to make money. But it's those big ones that if you can pick up, a handful of 25,000 to win races, it makes your season. You look at the stats. They call him Big Money Matt for a reason. He's bringing home the bacon when he gets out there, and he's definitely forced to be reckoned with, and there's a lot to be proud of, man. When you look at Canadian modified racers, Pete Bicknell, you look at Stuart Friesen, you look at Matt, you look at all the real staples in the sport. Canadian,
Yeah.
And it's definitely cool. And like you said, there's no joke. It's 35 or 40 cars that can win each one of those races.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's deep.
Yeah, it sure is. We're going to hit this quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk Hythe Speedway in Alberta. We're going to do it with Ian Burgess. Stay right there. We will return tonight on RevTV Canada.
coast to coast. You're listening to Canada Talks.
It's time to get back to the racetracks. For over 30 years, Quick Fire Starters have fueled this sport on and off the track, making lighting your campfire as easy as 1, 2, 3. There's no need for kindling or paper. Just pop your Quick Fire Starter in the pit, add your wood, and presto, you're a pro. Quick Fire Starters. No harmful chemicals, and guaranteed to light your fire every time. Quick Fire Starters, the world's best fire starter. It's Canada's kickoff to 2023 at Penticton Speedway. Join us May 5th and 6th.
If you build it, they will come. The Siebert family, they're doing a great job.
It's the second annual Western Rattler 300 at Penticton Speedway, featuring Canada's top pro late models and street stocks.
Got the car on the scales right now. We're really looking forward to it.
For tickets, get to PentictonSpeedway.com and join us live on Racetime Radio worldwide for live flag-to-flag coverage.
Riley Siebert, the winner
of the Western Rattler 300. With competitors from across Canada and the U.S.
Now, this is my house. You're not coming here to push me around. And this is probably the biggest win of my career. So this is just one of the best nights of my life. This is awesome.
All at Penticton Speedway for the second annual Western Rattler 300.
Oh, man. Well, I'm really excited about this race. This is huge for Western Canadian racing.
Hey, everyone. This is World Series champions Lance McCullers Jr. and Carlos Correa. We're excited to announce that our podcast, The Walkout, is now available on SiriusXM.
Each episode, we go inside the world of combat sports, providing hardcore analysis, honest opinions, and top picks for every fight.
If you share the same passion for combat sports as we do, you need to listen to The Walkout.
Episodes are available on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, and wherever you get your podcasts.
RevTV, your motorsports and automotive destination. Watch live races from around the world and right here at home, from 2 wheels to 4 and so much more. RevTV is your source for motorsports. RevTV features exclusive race series, up-to-date news coverage, documentaries, how-to programs, and adrenaline-filled lifestyle programs 24/7. Go green with RevTV. Contact your TV provider to order.
Tonight's Racetime Radio is fueled by AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
If you're a Springsteen fan, you just found the promised land. Hear rare interviews and performances. Live concerts.
Is there anybody alive out there?
Celebrity guest DJs.
This is Rob Lowe. Hey, baby, it's Little Steven here.
And more exclusives when listening to Bruce Springsteen's channel.
Welcome, Bruce Springsteen, to E Street Radio, your home away from home. Great to be here.
E Street Radio, SiriusXM Channel 20.
Explore the musical world of an American rock and roll troubadour on his very own channel.
Tom Petty Radio.
All of Tom's music, influences, collaborations.
This is Tom Petty here on The Very Treasure Show.
Heartbreakers hosted shows.
Check out my show, The Breakdown with Mike Campbell.
And more.
It's Tom Petty Radio.
Channel 31.
It's all right.
And in the SXM app, included with all trials and popular plans.
Did you know you can get home and away feeds for every NFL, NBA, and NHL game on your phone?
I can't believe it!
Every game, all season. It's all on the SXM app. Sports the way they're meant to be heard, with your hometown announcers just a tap away. Search for your team, then tap the star on the corner of the screen and save it as your favorite.
It is gone! An incredible finish!
And if you love college sports, when the game is on, just search for your school. It's always a home game when you listen to sports on the SXM app. Free for most subscribers.
We're just getting started. That's right. Joe hasn't stuck his foot in his mouth yet. But hang tight, it's coming. Now, back to more Racetime Radio and Joe Chisholm.
And welcome back, everybody, to Racetime Radio. Andy knows me too well. My foot does fit in here. And I know I got a small foot. Yeah, at least I think I got a small foot.
Size 5, I think.
Size 5. Hey, do you notice the Chase Elliott in front of me? Got that from a Napa parts store. Got to thank Todd Robertson for, we got a couple other Napa things. Got one over my shoulder here. Got my Napa lid. Chase Elliott almost won in California today. Kind of handy having all this Napa stuff. Great supporter of Race Time Radio. Thanks so much, Todd. Let's get to the Zoom line, shall we? Let's talk some Hythe Speedway out in Alberta just a little bit. What are you, north of Grand Prairie or south of Grand Prairie? We got Ian Burgess with us. What's going on, Ian? How are you?
Yeah, hey, we are just 45 minutes northwest of Grand Prairie. We are on the Alaska Highway, right between Grand Prairie, Alberta, and Dawson Creek, BC. Lots of traffic going up the highway, going north up to Alaska, and we're probably one of the most northern asphalt tracks in Canada for sure. But I know there's Alaska Speedway way up there in Alaska and stuff like that. But yeah, it's our crown jewel in northern Alberta. We've got a 3/8 high bank asphalt oval, as well as a 1/8 dirt oval that we run kind of cage kart mini sprints for our kids, and we started running lawnmowers on them last year, and so we got lots of things going on at the Hythe Motor Speedway.
What time of the year do you guys fire up at Hythe Motor Speedway to get the season underway, so to speak, Ian?
Yeah, we're not quite as blessed as the Saratogas and Penticton Speedways that can start racing in April. We probably still have 3 feet of snow on the ground. No, not that bad, but we start in June, and June 10th will be our first day this year. And then we run all the way till the September long weekend. We run 4 weekends a year. We're a club run, nonprofit volunteer organization. And so we rely on our volunteers, and our volunteers, also want to enjoy some of that summer too and get out to the lake and go fishing. And we got racers that are traveling all over Western Canada too. So we try to find that balance between, having our events at our track, but also giving our volunteers and supporters some time to enjoy the short summer that we have in the north.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, I believe we had one of your competitors on with us, the 42 car of Kyle Reed. Of course, he's out of Fort Mac, but I do believe he has had his 42 car as late model at Hythe Speedway once upon a time.
We might have had him in the past. We haven't had late models for a little bit at our track, but something we're trying to get involved with. And right now at our track, we've got a starter stock class, beginner V8s, and then we have an elite street stock class, was roughly based off the IMCA stock rules, and kind of our big class at our track that we've had since our start in 1995 is the IMCA Canada Modifieds, and we're the host of the IMCA Super Nationals here on the asphalt every year, September long weekend, and that's a great legacy that we took over from Race City Speedway in Calgary when they had to close down a few years ago. And I just want to give a shout out. I'm sure you guys talked about it and mentioned it, but we were really lucky to have Trevor Boyes race up at our speedway a lot after he came back north, and rest in peace for him. But we also had Wheeler and Buddy up there once in a while, and I owned one of Trevor's cars. It was my first modified I got in, and
really
just a great guy for our sport, and helped a lot of racers here in Canada.
Oh, yeah, he was huge, and our thoughts are definitely with the family, as you say. And it's funny, how many years has Hythe been there?
Yeah, we opened the track in Hythe in 1995, and we used to have a track in Grand Prairie, dirt track, and we had a lot of years there, but unfortunately progress has progressed, and we got pushed out of the city, and one of our former members, a guy named Rick Peterson, who's now part owner of Aero McLaren SP, Schmidt Peterson, one of Schmidt Peterson Motorsports. He was able to secure us that land in Hythe, and we were able to build this track and opened up 95 with the Cast Car race as our inaugural race way back then, and haven't looked back since. We're the track's getting a little bit old, and we're working now on our plans to repave the track and those kind of things, but we do what we can with our little track. We're lucky with the high banks, and it keeps the pavement in pretty good shape.
Oh, yeah. And look, all asphalt eventually needs to be redone. Up until then, the racers that have got lots of experience love to call that character. They love the character. It's a differential between the guy at the front and the guy at the back, or the guy with tires and the guy without tires in most cases. But you know what? Eventually, just like California today, that was the last time they're going to be on that configuration. They don't know what to expect on the way back. Is it going to be 1.5 miles? Is it going to be, the 2 mile track repaved? All those tales to be told in the future. But it is kind of exciting, I'll tell you. I owned Sauble Speedway back in the day. Bought it in 1994, and it was in dire need of asphalt. Guys were only getting a night for a set of tires, and it was making the racers go broke. So we buckled down, and in 1997, I think it was, I repaved the Speedway. And, man, what a difference. You put new asphalt down, all the problems seem to go away, and it's kind of cool. And I do believe right now that track is back into a condition where it direly needs asphalt once again, but they can still race on it. And, when you don't have the late models as a premier class out there, it's probably a good thing. Those modifieds are a lot lighter than what a late model would be, right? That's how they get away with running on tracks like that.
Yeah, they are quite a bit lighter, 2650. They run that 8-inch tire that's a little bit harder, stuff like that. We do get the Canadian Super Trucks come out and join us for a weekend every year, and yeah, they talk about tire wear. It happens. It's a bit of a cheese grater, but it also, you got to save your stuff, and you got to drive carefully and drive smart. And yeah, I'm excited. We're working on it. It's a big undertaking for sure, but I got to spend a bunch of my summer last summer as well out at Penticton, helping out there, and you can just see what's happened at that Speedway and how it's been brought back to life with, just a great plan and great ownership group and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we're in, in our early stages, but we're working on getting the track repaved, and we're, updating scoring tower, all that kind of stuff. Lots to do, but a lot of fun out there for sure.
Ian, one thing that kind of stands out to me is kind of the model that Area 27 has, and Avion Motorsports as well, where they have like a rental style program. When I look at where you guys are, there's obviously a decent amount of people that live there full time, that were born and raised, in northern Alberta. But there's also a lot of people in the oil and gas industry that maybe not from there, that have moved there, part-time, and maybe live there part-time. It would be really interesting to see what a program like Avion, but for a division at Hythe would look like. With all the people that, kind of move in there for just for work. If they didn't have to work on their car full time through the week, and could show up and arrive and drive, I would imagine there'd be a huge market there, and you guys would be one of the only places with that market. There's not, you wouldn't have that market in northern Ontario or in the East Coast per se, like you would out there, just with the influx of oil and gas workers.
Yeah, I agree, and we've kind of had it in bits and pieces. Guys that have exactly said that, like, this is something I want to try, and can you get me into it? And one of our cool kind of success stories, I'll say, is we had this kid, Jonathan Newdorf. He joined us in 2020 racing just a V8 starter stock, and he was able, with support of his dad owned a company and things like that, finished third. Well, a couple years later they moved to Arizona. I just talked to him yesterday. Jonathan's running the Pro MX5 Cup series down there in the Miatas, and was at Daytona, and he went from 24th to 9th in his first race. He won today in the SSCA Hoosier Series at Buttonwillow Raceway. Last year won a race at Sebring, and so this is a kid that just got his start up in Grand Prairie in a little V8 class, and is now getting to, last year ran at Coda, Daytona, Sebring, those kind of places. Really cool. And yeah, they didn't have the time to put a car together or the knowledge and, those kind of things. And so I agree, Junior, that there's some opportunities there for sure.
How about marquee events? I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. What do you got for marquee events that fans just got to come out and see this year at Hythe Motor Speedway?
Yeah, for sure. June 10th and 11th is going to be our Pat's Auto Supply Fan Appreciation Weekend. It's going to be one of the 4 events of the Roy Ross Gold Brick, which is an IMCA event that's been going for almost 30 years. And it's probably the Stanley Cup of auto racing. I'll send you a picture of the trophy. It's a beautiful thing. August 12th and 13th is our Canadian Super Truck Show. And then September 2nd and 3rd is our Anode NDT IMCA Super Nationals. We also have joined the Tri-City Street Stock Series. So there's a track in Prince George, Williams Lake, Quesnel, They all run a street stock series together, and they joined us last year. And so we're getting guys moving, we're getting guys traveling. I know last year we had a bunch of our guys hauled down to Penticton for the October race. A bunch are hoping to go in May. Lots going on. And we also want to always plug our local Pinty's driver, Jamie Krisick, runs that 46 car, and he'll run the Western Swing again this year at both International Raceway and Sutherland Speedway.
Yeah, Jamie, dynamite guy. Love watching him behind the wheel of a race car. That's cool. And I caught up with Kane Fraser in Saskatoon, and he actually told me about a big street stock race that they have July long weekend out at Williams Lake, BC. And he said, Joe, how do we get Race Time Radio out there to do that baby live? I said, we can make it happen, brother. We can do it. So I know we'll be talking over the next month or so. But, I hear you. That series has really gained momentum out there.
Yeah, it suffered a bit during COVID. They were over 30 cars before COVID, and we're rebuilding and getting drivers back. And we had guys hauling all the way from the island last year to be a part of that series. And so it's just, as always, trying to find the rules that everyone likes and fits and can do that. But a lot of different tracks that are completely different from each other. So you really got to know what you're doing to do well in that series. But it's a lot of fun for sure, and great people running it.
Perfect. Website, social media, all that. Give it all a hit. So any fans that want to follow along at Hythe Motor Speedway, they can do that.
Yeah, for sure. Probably we're most busy on Facebook, Hythe Motor Speedway. You can find us there. Our website is hythespeedway.com, and then on Twitter as well, and Instagram at Hythe Speedway. And you can check us out, send us any questions, anything like that, and we will we'll be answering you, talking with you. Thanks again for the time tonight, everyone, and we might see you in May.
That would be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. Ian Burgess, right from Hythe Motor Speedway. You can count on them guys this summer. You want to make it to that racetrack, you got two ways you can, hit gold. Go up that elastic highway, take your race car with you, stop at Hythe Motor Speedway, try and take their money there, and then keep on going up to Dawson City. Maybe you'll see that bearded, what do they call him? The bearded Viking up there.
Tony Beats.
Tony Beats. That's the guy's name I was trying to search.
That's way up there.
Yeah, well, he's just up a little bit further.
You want to leave your race car
City.
down south if you're going way up there.
Yeah. No kidding. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We got to throw the keys back to SiriusXM only for 90 seconds. We're going to be 90 seconds away, and that'll give you enough time to get a quick sip. And then Junior and I are going to be back with you for hour two. We're going to talk about the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. Big induction ceremonies last night in Toronto. And we got two of the inductees of Class of 22 that got inducted last night. We got Derek Lynch going to join the show. Known Derek for a lot of years. He's an accomplished race car driver, one of those Bush North guys from back in the day. But even Derek ran last year. He is going to join the show. He was inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame, and congratulations for that. And then we'll hear from the Iron Man, Gary Elliott. He came in from the East Coast to be inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame just last night in the big city of Toronto. And that's what we got coming for you in hour number two. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of memories to go by with these two guys, I can guarantee it. But we're going to throw it back to Toronto, back to you in the Toronto studio, Scotty. Get us up to date, and we will be back for hour number two tonight, all live on SiriusXM. Before I go away, Junior, I need you to look up something for me. Let's have a look at the finish of the Cup race. I know the Xfinity race is going to be going, but let's have a look at the finish of the Cup race just so we can pass it on to anybody that may be listening to us and had missed the end of the race. We'll give you some of those results when we come back in hour number two. But let's throw it back to Toronto right now. To you in Toronto, Scotty. Get us up to date. You got 90 seconds, and then we are coming back with you all live tonight on SiriusXM, Channel 167, Canada Talks, and RevTV Canada.
You're listening to Canada Talks on SiriusXM, Channel 167.
RaceTime Radio is brought to you by the Quality Inn, Halifax Airport, the official stay of the Racetime Radio broadcast crew. Also by APX Racewear, the motorsports leader in custom crew apparel and fire suits. Also by the Wooden Door Bistro.
When you think NASCAR, think SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
This may be the most important thing that's ever happened.
You're damn right, baby.
The races.
The Daytona 500 win.
I love that we have playoff racing now.
The talk shows.
We'd love for you guys to participate as well.
The unprecedented access.
Well, I'm here at the red carpet with the fans.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Chastain did a video game move.
Also streaming on the SXM app.
I think they're happy down here.
We're back with hour number 2 of RaceTime Radio. With the two Joes here on RaceTime Radio on SiriusXM 167, where Canada talks.
And just like that, we are back with you all live tonight on SiriusXM channel 167, Canada Talks. Oh, and we are on RevTV Canada, or maybe you're listening on the Performance Motorsport Network.com throughout the course of the week. Hello to all of our listeners there. They've been running Racetime Radio for absolutely years. Steele and his gang down there. Hello to absolutely everyone there. And Gearhead Country Radio, or wherever you get your podcast. Racetime Radio is there and available. Please do me a favor, check out our YouTube channel. We are all live on YouTube at Racetime Radio TV, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We surely appreciate it. It's all something new we've been trying over the last couple of months. So we're trying to break 100 subscribers. We're getting there. It takes time to build, right? We have many, many listeners on SiriusXM and viewers on RevTV. Something a little bit new that we're trying is our YouTube channel and Racetime Radio TV. But Junior, that was quite a cup race today. It did have its cautions. It was going to be an interesting day. A lot of weepers were popping out in that racetrack. You got to know, yesterday they had a lot of snow. They had rain, snow, you name it. Even the Xfinity race is pushed until later tonight. So it was quite a place and pretty good race.
Yeah, really. Southern California, you're not expected to see snow. It is in the foothills. It's right at the base of the mountains. When you are at California, it's not new to look out and see the snow on top of the mountains, but it is very new to see snow falling in the garage area at Auto Club Speedway, especially this time of year. Beginning of February. It's still rare, but can happen. Rolling. This late in the season, and they get a freak rainstorm and snowstorm, washed everything out. Qualifying practice for both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, both. Definitely a tough pill to swallow on the Xfinity side. There was a couple guys that didn't get a chance at it.
I hope it wasn't Alex Labbe. Alex Labbe going to be in the 28 car, and I do believe that car had qualified in on points. At least I've got my fingers crossed. It's a different team, not DGM. Alex Labbe, of course, went to Daytona and was looking pretty good. At least we thought he was. But then the car didn't make it through tech in time, and they weren't allowed to go out and post the time. Consequently, he didn't make the show. So Alex said, he hated it, but he bit the bullet, and at that time got an opportunity to go drive the 28 car at Fontana for the Xfinity Series. So I believe he is in on the just right up on his
on time or on
not on time.
On the rule book. Yeah,
on the rule book.
It was Garrett Smidley and Ryan Vargas that were the ones that went home. On the Xfinity Series side, but only 36 cars on the Cup Series side. Of course, that's how many charters there are. Right. No open cars attempted. The trip out there. So everybody, everybody made it into the show that showed up. But of course, Kyle Busch first victory with Richard Childress.
Yes.
Dominating performance towards the end of that race. Man, he put a fight up with Ross Chastain there with about 25 to go. It was definitely
Chase Elliott.
It was fun to watch. Chase Elliott as well. Towards the end, came on and started clicking off some lap times. But that was while the 8 car was in traffic, trying to get around and negotiate some lap cars. Once he got clear, he evened it back out and maintained his gap and drove away a little bit. But cool to see with the Lucas Oil number 8, beautiful looking race car.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, of course, came home second. Ross Chastain came home third. Daniel Suarez, so 2 Trackhouse cars in the top 4. Big day for them. Kevin Harvick came home in 5th. Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano come home in 10th.
So that's the top 10.
Yeah, so 15, out of the top 15, there was 10 different teams in that top 15.
Saying a lot for Trackhouse, right? Having 2 cars in the top 5.
Exactly. Saying a lot for Trackhouse, but also saying a lot for the parity in NASCAR right now.
Yeah.
Man, it's, good job.
Yet another Canadian doing a good job.
Absolutely.
That's right. We got Brad Moran, the NASCAR competition. No, not competition. Yeah, he is. He's competition director is what he's doing down there. Doing a great job. Listen, we have... How about the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame last night? Big inductions all took place. And the class of 22 is all inducted. One of our next guests is one of those inductees. He joins us now on the Zoom line. It is Derek Lynch. What's going on tonight? Derek, I haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, Joe. It's been a while. It's good to see you again as well.
Hey, congratulations on the Hall inductee. And being inducted. Good on you, man. You deserve that. You've done a lot of good in Canadian racing and a lot of good south of the border in racing even.
Well, so have you, Joe, and a lot of people have as well, but it is definitely an honor. I mean, it's kind of a revered institution, and when you think there's less than 300 people in there and that I'm one of them, it was very humbling to get the call and to be inducted. So, yeah, quite an honor indeed.
Good deal. Now, I'm seeing you tonight for the first time, Derek, and I got to say, there's no snow on the roof yet, so that must mean that there's still a driver's seat somewhere that you're going to be climbing into. Just because you went into the hall doesn't mean that you're done driving by any stretch, correct?
No, and there's 2 seats waiting, Joe. We've got an older late model that we did get out to Peterborough once last year, so we'd like to do that again. And I do still have an APC late model sitting there that I definitely like to run a few times this year as well. And it just seems we bought a portable toilet business about 5 years ago, and that has been great, but it's consumed a lot of time. So just trying to get organized so that we've got some time to go racing has been the biggest thing. But I think we're at that point now, and looking forward to running some shows this year for sure.
Yeah, no more flushing any more time down the drain. You got to get out there in that race car, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I enjoy it. Like I said, we got out once last year and we had a great night. It seems like a lot of the local tracks, as you would have a better handle on the pulse than I would, but it seems like their weekly car counts are coming back and are very strong. And Peterborough was no exception. Like last year, they were back getting 15, 17 late models every Saturday night. So good fields back for the local competitors and the local fans. And that's great to see that, the Touring Series APC is awesome. But it's nice to see, as keep these local tracks going because those tours have to have a place to race,
Yeah, 100%. Derek, you did mention the older late model that you've got. There's been 2 projects that I've followed very closely over the offseason. Yourself and J.R. Fitzpatrick. I think you guys are competing for the Cool Award in racing over the course of the winter. Now, J.R. takes a little bit of he takes a little bit of a head start because he's got 2 projects kind of simultaneously going. His original junior late model and then his original pro late model. But you as well have got an old Howe style or old Howe perimeter style late model, right? Is it a perimeter car or a straight rail car that
yes,
you've been working on.
It is a perimeter car because I'm back about 5 years before anybody had even heard of a straight rail car before.
Gotcha.
So yeah, definitely a perimeter Howe car. And there is a bit of a debate. We can't really confirm for sure whether it was built at Howe's or whether Junior built it. But Dad bought it from Junior Hanley. So Junior could have built it at Howe's because it was right at the time when Junior was beginning his chassis business through that, middle part of the 70s there. It was new in 78. But JR and I have kind of texted a little bit back and forth on Messenger, and I kind of kid him that his car, I think, that he's building is in the 90s, and it's a little easier to find that stuff than what I'm looking for back in the 70s and 80s. There's not much left, but it is awesome to see these old cars coming back to life, and it's been a lot of fun.
It's just the style. It's funny because looking at some of the parts that you've posted, if you came out with some of those parts today, somebody would look at them and be like, "Oh, that's space age." That's next generation.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part about racing is that it's so cyclical, right? There was times where you would show up and you had a big spring car and you had no sway bar in the thing or very little sway bar, and then you went to a soft spring and all of a sudden you needed a big sway bar, and then it's morphed into utilizing those theories, every which way to Sunday with the bump stops. But it's so comical because you look at some of those parts and you're like, man, how could you build it that light and how could it withstand it? Or you look at the part and you're like, man, why wouldn't I think of that?
Yeah.
It's so cool to see that old stuff. And I know that, I always get a kick out of seeing guys like Ray Evernham put together old cup cars and things like that. But the old late model stuff is even cooler for guys like me because it's something that we've experienced. We've seen it, we've looked at it, we've watched cars like that race, and I definitely hats off to you for being so open with it and posting so many photos. And I urge anybody to check out Derek Lynch's Facebook page and take a look at some of the cool project stuff that you've got rolling.
Well, I appreciate that, and it has been a lot of fun. And to your point, that's what intrigued me the most about it. When the car was built, and I don't want to waste a lot of your time on this, but when the car was built originally, it had a Camaro clip on it. So it's the very same Camaro clip that you would find on even like an older super stock today. But even they have tubular clips now. But when Dad had Hanley update it in the winter of 1980, it was the first design tubular clip. So it's like you said, it was very cool to track down that stuff. And as I've been hunting for parts and pieces, it's amazing the transitions that happened between about 1977 and 1982. Everything evolved so quickly. And the parts, although if you sat them on the ground today beside a current late model, they look in a lot of cases the same or very similar, but you made the best, analyzation. The weight of them is unbelievable. Like that quick change looks the same sitting there, but I could pick my quick change today up and carry it to the car by myself. That one, you need an engine lift to carry it. So they just keep pairing till, it breaks, and then they go back a little bit, and that's as light as we can make it. So it's been very cool to look at the evolution of that stuff. Chaz Howe in Michigan at Howe Racing Enterprises has been a great help because he was old enough. I mean, he was in his middle teens at this point, and they've got the record. So he's been awesome to help me get me pointed on questions that I've got. So, but yeah, it's been a fun project, and people seem to enjoy it. And I think you kind of touched on this. That was the cars that we grew up with, and those cars, whether it was Delaware, Flamborough, Checkered Flag, Peterborough, Sauble, Sunset. That's what they all raced. Shaughnessy, Keeling, Lynch, Zardo, Hanley, Biederman. I mean, that's what they were. And that was, in my opinion, up until about 5 years ago, I think we're back to the golden age again. But those middle 70s through the middle 80s were really a golden age of late model racing here in Ontario with all that talent.
You know how you get lots of information on that car? Take it back over to Junior Hanley's shop and let him run his hand over the clip. He'll give you the date, the time, and the everything when he built that baby.
And Joe, that's where I'm at. I'm to the point. I'm going to give Junior a call because I've got a question on the springs that nobody can remember. Dad can't remember, but I remember what they look like as a kid, and I've got the parts and pieces, and I know I have to go with them. I'm just not sure where they came from or what they were out of or who manufactured them. So that he is next on my list to call. And I know he's aware of what I'm doing because people have told me that he's been following along either with Fireman Bob or somebody else. So yeah, but it's I'm going to give him a call for sure and get his input.
Now, you did off the top of the show, you said there's no snow on the roof over there, but there's about 10 times in this interview where you've kind of dated yourself. So, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe you got really good genetics.
No, he wears a hat all the time.
Is that what it is?
Typical racer, either a hat or a helmet.
I've got gray hair, and I know that Derek's a little bit older than me.
Yeah, but there's no sun hit it, and if there's no sun hit it in the direct sunlight in the summertime.
You said I gave you all those gray hairs.
Well, you did, but you didn't. Not for Derek. We're with Derek Lynch tonight. He went into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame, inducted just last night. Derek, take us back to last night. How special was that to be inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame and rub elbows with all those guys?
It was incredible. It really was. When I got it was very humbling. Certainly I'm aware of the Hall. Look, times it had been there and did. But when Peter called, and last night to stand there, to sit there and watch all those fellow inductees and hear the stories and hear the path that they had traveled to get to this point in their career or life was really quite something. And in some cases emotional, to know what a lot of those folks had gone through. But one of them commented, and a very interesting aspect of it was how much overlap there was between all of our careers, despite your genre of racing. There was folks there from open wheel, from drag racing, photography, and it was amazing that the name they would throw out that we had also associated with in some capacity. So it just really proved no matter your kind of genre of motorsports, there's so much crossover, and we all benefit and help from each other in some way. But it was fabulous, and I can't say enough about the Hall of Fame. Peter Lockhart, Dr. Scully, Joel Robinson, Todd Lewis. I mean, they just did a phenomenal job in the presentation and what they do. So it was awesome. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. It was a real honor, and it's just an incredible evening.
Yeah, they do an awesome job. Eric Thomas has always got a couple of really good one-liners. He gets them in there, and I know we were there one night when John Chisholm was being inducted, actually.
Yeah.
And, it was a special night, a very, very special time. And, it was a good time. Downtown Toronto, you can't beat it. And
you can't. And the International Auto Show is back going on. It's in conjunction with that. So, yeah, just a wonderful venue. That John Bassett Theater is a beautiful venue to have it. And like I said, it was first class. I mean, they really did a great job. And it was awesome to meet because there's lots of guys there. Like I said, you've heard their name and you knew they were in motorsports, but you weren't really sure. So, of the 14 of us that were there, it was really great to connect with them and find out about their history and where they lived and how they get started. And a lot of that was in their presentations. But yeah, it was, like I said, great to be a part of. It's a real honor. Absolutely.
Awesome stuff and well-deserved. Now, the two cars you're building and getting set to go, where are you going to race both of them?
The one, our perimeter car, I'd really like to go back to Peterborough with it. And then our straight rail car, I would really like to get out to some APC races. And I'm not going to say I can run the whole series, but they're back at Peterborough again this year. I've always enjoyed racing at Delaware. So it would probably be, if I can get out those 3 times, so the 2 Delaware races in Peterborough with the APC car, that'd be great. Yeah.
So with Kawartha Speedway, is it gone officially now? Is the actual track taken up now?
No, Joe, it's not. I do think there's a couple sections that are up, not very big amount, but all of the catch fence around it is gone. I was lucky enough to get the 2 stoplights in either corner. I've got them in the collection. And the folks that are there said they'd get me a chunk of the start-finish line when it comes up. So I don't think it's very far away from being gone. But the wall and everything is still there. Like I said, 98% of the pavement is all there. And they've ran some motorsports events in the line of some truck pulls, some tractor pulls, a demolition derby, a couple things over the last couple of years. But yeah, my understanding is probably if we were to talk this time next year, it'll be gone.
Man, it's such a shame. You had such an integral part at Kawartha Speedway. Right in the smack dab in the middle of your driving career, but you pulled it all together. You and your wife did a magnificent job running both ends of it. And to see what it's just a shame that we've lost another really good one in Ontario, because that place was bullet fast.
It was a beautiful racetrack, and I don't know if our listeners know or not, but Skip Ambrose, the owner at Kawartha, he passed away last fall as well. So Skip is no longer with us, which is too bad. But yeah, he built a beautiful facility there, and just trying to marry things together as we all are. What can we do to bring more people to the sport? And he was thinking of that back in 1998 when he started to build it. Tied in with the horse racing, tied in with the casino, enclosed grandstands for somebody who wanted a different experience than those of us that are used to being right out at the action is. But the actual oval racetrack itself was beautiful. And to your point, in our lifetime, like we've watched Mossport Oval come and go. We've watched Kawartha Speedway come and go. We saw the revitalization of Cayuga, Jacasa. It seems like it's come and gone again, and probably for good this time. Capital City sitting idle. So you're right. I mean, how many more can we afford to lose? But like I said, I'm optimistic with what I see for car counts now at these tracks. I think we're getting the involvement and the interest back, and I'm very hopeful for the next 10, 15 years. Because like you guys indicated on other things, it's cyclical. Racing has always had its ups and downs, as you well know. I mean, you were on that side of the fence. But
now we're having trouble. Having trouble with Derek's connection just yet.
Which is
tough deal.
Yeah,
tough deal. Losing connection here.
There you go. There you go. I believe we got Derek back now.
I got you again. Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. It just bounced around a wee bit. What I was going to say is, for as much memories as those places that you mentioned have created and instilled in all of us, we got so many more memories to come this summer. And I agree with you. I believe the corner has been turned. COVID is far enough away, and playing a non-issue in it now, where, it is time to get back to the track. It is time to get life back to where we all know it. And kind of cool, Derek, when you got 2 race cars and not just one in that red stable. That's going to be kind of cool. I can't wait to see you out there.
I'm looking forward to it as well, Joe, and I know we'll cross paths somewhere along the way. And as always, I gave you a mention last night. I don't know if that trickled back to you or not. You guys do a phenomenal job, and you guys don't get enough credit. And I mentioned a few guys, Greg McPherson, Joel Robinson, Eric Thomas. I mean, you guys have done a lot. Norris McDonald, Dean McNulty, always keeping our sport at the forefront. And that's not lost on me, and nor should it be anybody else, because in the down times, you guys are shouldering the load and keeping the word out there and keeping the positivity up. And I appreciate it. So thank you for having me on as well. You guys do a great job.
Well, thanks, Derek. And just like you and your race team, I guess all of us media members, we all got to be pulling on that same rope. Because we are part of it. We're like, this is all part of our fabric too. If you cut us, we bleed racing just like you guys do, and very proud to do it. But Derek, this has been great catching up with you. I know I look forward to catching up with you again before that first green flag goes in the air. Does that sound good? Can we get you back on here?
That'd be awesome. I would love to anytime. I enjoy chatting with you guys, and the show is great. Appreciate everything you're doing for motorsports. I'm happy to come anytime you'll have me and talk about anything to do with racing, so don't be shy.
That's the stuff. That's Derek Lynch. Watch for him this summer at Peterborough Speedway. You maybe even an APC race or two, Junior. That's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. He's, you think of a guy like Derek Lynch saying he's going to be in a race or two. You look back in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. He said he's going to be in for a race or two, and the 77 rolled in through the back gate and left with the big trophy and the big check, a couple of times. And, he's the guy's a wheel man. He always has been. I've seen him do a bunch of winning, and, he's definitely been a huge ambassador for the sport. And I've always loved talking to Derek. And I think back to watching him be the promoter at Kawartha for the Summer Sizzler and for some of those big shows that that we would go over and do, and man, he both him and his wife reminded me so much of you and Mom at the racetrack. Just running around and making sure that every box was checked, and it was so much fun to see him in both the driving role, because I spent a lot of time watching him with a fire suit on, but then also see him on the crew side of things, or on the ownership side of things, and the management side, I guess you could say. And he just an ambassador of the sport through and through, and you can't say enough. So I wouldn't doubt that he goes out there and is a force to be reckoned with in those APC races when he shows up. He doesn't go out there to show up and run 15.
Oh no, that is not in Derek Lynch's DNA. I can guarantee that. He goes for one reason, and that is to go win this race, not at any cost. He will go do it swiftly. He is going to go win the race, but he ain't going to do it at any cost. I can guarantee you that. But that's going to do it for this segment. We're going to take another quick break here on Race Time Radio. When we come back, more Hall of Fame discussion with a guy that was also inducted last night, Gary Elliott, going to join us on the other side of the break. We'll be back. Stay with us.
You're listening to Canada Talks on SiriusXM, Channel 167. Did you know you can get home and away feeds for every NFL, NBA, and NHL game on your phone?
I can't believe it!
Every game, all season. It's all on the SXM app. Sports the way they're meant to be heard, with your hometown announcers just a tap away. Search for your team, then tap the star on the corner of the screen and save it as your favorite.
It is gone! An incredible finish!
And if you love college sports, when the game is on, just search for your school. It's always a home game when you listen to sports on the SXM app. Free for most subscribers.
It's Canada's kickoff to 2023 at Penticton Speedway. Join us May 5th and 6th.
If you build it, they will come. The Seabird family, they're doing a great job.
It's the second annual Western Rattler 300 at Penticton Speedway, featuring Canada's top pro late models and street stocks.
Got the car on the scales right now. We're really looking forward to it.
For tickets, get to PentictonSpeedway.com. And join us live on Race Time Radio worldwide for live flag-to-flag coverage.
Riley Siebert, the winners
of the Western Rattler 300, with competitors from across Canada and the U.S.
Now, this is my house, and you're not coming here to push me around. And this is probably the biggest win of my career, so this is just one of the best nights of my life. This is awesome.
All at Penticton Speedway for the second annual Western Rattler 300.
Oh, man. Well, I'm really excited about this race. This is huge for Western Canadian racing.
What is SiriusXM NASCAR Radio?
Tyler Reddy will go to victory lane at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
You just won at Indy.
Down here in victory lane, let me ask the fans.
It's all.
Joey Logano will set his sights on the championship.
2 times, baby.
Things.
He shoved him up the racetrack.
Back up on the throttle as he heads to victory.
NASCAR.
Oh, he loses it. He crashes.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Also streaming on the SXM app.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere, doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. You stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, you can count on Napa know-how.
Tonight's Race Time Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, New Glasgow, Antigonish, and Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. You can count on Napa know-how.
BP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
Soccer is a passion that goes beyond the sport, and SiriusXM FC's podcast, More Than a Game, brings that passion to you.
And you believe it!
In each episode, FC's panel of experts take a deep dive into club histories, iconic grounds,
Anfield has erupted!
bitter rivalries, and so much more.
There's nothing like a derby day in Manchester.
New episodes are available weekly by downloading the SiriusXM app and searching More Than a Game.
From the high banks of Daytona. Cover it all. Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. And now, back to the Joes.
Hey, shake and bake, Cal! Woo! Shake and bake!
Here on Race Time Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, to Race Time Radio. So glad you could tune in tonight. Oh, it's my great honor to welcome in our next guest. We talk to him as much as we humanly possibly can on Race Time Radio, but tonight he comes to us as a member of the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame, inducted just last night. He drives the Quaker State number 36, and he joins us now on Zoom. What's going on, Gary? How you doing? You're looking spiffy, buddy.
Well, I was pretty tired from leaving Nova Scotia on Thursday, and then we left at early in the morning. We get up at 3:45 a.m. And it's been a busy day. I got to see my son David and my son and his wife Jeannie and of course Shirley and Derek and my grandkids. So it's been really busy, but we had a great night last night, and they were all there. There was 18 in my group, which wasn't the biggest group, but it was a lot, and I was thankful for everyone that came to support me.
Well, that would have been part of the Ontario element of the 36 car, and I guess some of the guys from the East Coast would have joined together and maybe had discussion. You would have had a lot of fun having both crew ends there.
Yeah, so my crew chief, Jim Hulzinga, was there from Ontario, but then I had two of my crew from Nova Scotia come down, and two of my different sponsors were there as well. So, yeah, it was really good. It was fantastic.
Take us back to last night, Gary. I know what this means to you. This means a lot to you. You are one of those staples in Canadian racing that has been for absolutely ever, a long time. And Gary, there's no sign, just like Derek Lynch before you, there's no sign of you slowing down anytime soon. Age is just a number. It's just a number, and you very rarely look at it. Because you're as old as you feel, you're as old as you react. And Gary Elliott, you still act like you're 20 years old, and you can still get this job done behind the wheel of a race car. Take us back to last night, because I know how much it meant to you. And what was it like when they finally said, and inducted for 2022, welcome him to the stage, 36 Gary Elliott. What did that feel like?
Well, it was very emotional. I was honored, totally honored, for sure. The group of guys that went before me and after me, they were awesome. They've had some very amazing careers. I think much different than mine. Mine was kind of different. I was probably the biggest and probably the only grassroots racer there that was grassroots my whole life, but was dedicated and determined to keep racing. We were given 5 minutes, Joe, and I couldn't even thank everybody in 5 minutes, let alone talk about my career. So, but my son David timed me, and I was 11 minutes, but other guys some were a little bit longer. A lot of them couldn't do it in 5 minutes. I was able to mention RTR as well.
I've seen that.
Media,
Thank you.
I appreciated everything that you do. And I also was glad that Derek Lynch also mentioned you personally. So, which I honestly, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody. And that's what my biggest concern was. So I wasn't so much nervous as I was trying to get a bunch of stuff in, and I didn't stop talking so I could get as much in as I could. But I wish I could have told a couple of stories, but you know what, maybe next time. But it was really an honor to be standing on that stage, looking at all those people, and then being inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame, which really, if you look at my path, I look back now and I can't believe that I raced the way I did my first 15 years. You know, no garage, no tools, no equipment, it was just really hard to race that way. But the bottom line is, if you wanted to race, then you had to figure out how to get there or do whatever you could to get your race car. I never even worried about winning. It was just to get to the race.
Yeah.
You know, like my dad sometimes would say, how are you going to get to the race tonight? You know, I don't know. I'm going to tow with my 66 Ford Fairlane. And he said, that's going to break the frame one day. And it did. But I told with it, imagine a hobby car, a 2,600-pound hobby car on a single axle trailer towing with a 66 Ford Fairlane.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? It didn't matter. I had to get to the track. And eventually it became my home, which it was meant to be. And then eventually I was able to start running better and being more competitive and understanding my car more and getting some breaks and getting, sponsors to help me along the way. So, you know what, my idea of racing always has been that the sport is called racing. So go there and race. That's what you're going to do. If you win, it's a bonus. But I know a lot of guys go there to win, and some of them are okay to finish third or second or whatever, or fourth.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, if I won, it was like no sleep for a week, because we would never expect to win. We never thought that we would win. We never thought we had a chance to win, but we always went to race. So as long as you're there, you're going to have a chance. Maybe not so much now, because I'm racing in the toughest series in the East Coast against some really, really good teams and great drivers and really awesome people. So I'm proud just to be there and race against them. Same as I was in Ontario. Later in my life, it's hard at my age. When I went to Nova Scotia, like I was running twin 30 at Flamborough, twin 30 lap features.
Right.
So we'd run a 30 lap feature, then the other three divisions would go, then we would race another one. I go to Nova Scotia, and my daughter says, "So Dad, what are you racing down there?" And I said, "I'm at the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour." She said, what kind of races do they have? I said, well, every race is 150 laps.
Minimum.
At least, plus a heat, plus there's some 200 and some 250. She said, "Dad, what? 150 laps?" So they asked me if I knew how old it was. I said, well, I said, I think I'm 47.
Yeah.
But then I found out that's when I was born. That's not my age.
That's like my mom here. She just celebrated her birthday on the 21st, and she's 29 still.
Again.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how it works, Gary. It's you guys must have the same same magic going on there.
You know what? I want to race. So if it had to be based on that you could win, then I would have quit a long time ago. But it's not when we go to a racetrack and we see 24 cars lined up, only one can win. Too many people compare it to hockey and football and baseball. Two teams, one wins, one loses.
Right.
There's no losers in race car. And Dale Earnhardt said that the day that he was killed, when they asked him about how it was to be in this race and about winning. And he said, everybody that came here today is a winner. Because you know what, you have, well, in their case, you have 100,000 fans. In our case, we have 4,000 or 5,000 or 3,500 fans.
Right.
Well, they come to watch a race. Well, if only guys that could win could come, then there wouldn't be that many people there. So they want to see us race, and that's what I do.
Gary, I think back to the early days at Sauble Speedway and some of the days before I bought Sauble Speedway, and I was a fan at Flamborough Speedway a lot of nights. And whenever we would be, and I'm talking me and the guys would be sitting around at the track, we'd always try and throw a buck or two on a race. We'd see the cars pull out onto the racetrack. Okay, who you take? And everybody take their car. I believe I made more money on taking the 36 of Gary Elliott than I did on any other hobby car that was out there. Now, Harry Nicholson back in the day in the 14 car, he was the man to beat. A lot of times, Harry was right up there, bless his soul. But I'll tell you what, the 36 car of Gary Elliott was that other guy to take. Because if it wasn't 14, it was going to be 36 in Victory Lane. And it was like that a lot of time. And for a long time.
Yeah, Harry Nicholson was a great racer. And he left the hobby club in 1983. That was his last year. And then he started Cora, his own class. But he definitely had the best looking car. I mean, he won best appearing car 11 years in a row with the same paint scheme. But it was absolutely so far ahead of everybody else. It was unbelievable. And then eventually, all of us, the rest of us started getting our stuff better. Harry was inspirational for best appearing car. Oh, and you know what I thought, if I can't win, and I never did think about whether I can win or not, but I always wanted to come with a really nice looking car. And Sauble Speedway was one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, you always did good there. You know, when I think back to Harry's car, it was a burgundy number 14 with a gold 14, something like what's on my 36 diecast here. The same looking gold on it with a black top. I don't know, what was that, a 32 coupe, was it?
No, it was a 34 Ford. And one day a guy drove over top another guy and landed on his roof and his door. And Harry missed 6 weeks of racing waiting for a door from the U.S., which if that was me, I would have just smashed that door and roofed back out and been racing the next week.
You wouldn't have missed a lap.
Oh, I know. I don't want to miss any races.
There's two paint schemes that stand out to me, Gary, and one of them is yours and the other one is Steve Laking's, and you could put both the schemes side by side and they would just about match. But you had a all white number 36 Quaker State hobby car, and you had just the light checkers down the lower sides.
I remember that car.
And that car was immaculate. You had everything that could be chrome. It was chrome. You could have everything that was painted was shiny. There was not a mark on the thing. The thing was just it looked amazing. It looked like a show car every time you rolled it off the trailer.
And it would go as good as it looked.
Absolutely. But fast forward, I'm going to say 5 years from then, Steve Laking rolled in the back gate, and he hadn't ran for a while. And he unloaded that car, and it was a all white number 44 though, and it was a late model, but the same style of paint scheme. It had just a light checker down the rocker panel, very subtle, but it had those bright green numbers, and both those paint schemes, they would be my all-time favorite on a race car.
So you see different things stick with different people, Gare.
Yeah, so the paint scheme that you're talking about was 1997, and we won Best Appearing Car that year. That was one of the years that we won Best Appearing Car in 1997 with that paint scheme. It was really nice. It's one of my favorite pictures. There's a picture of me standing beside that car in the pits with a Quaker State banner on a trailer, and it's just a perfect one for promotion. But that was good. I always wanted to have my car looking great, but I wasn't fussy about colors. So white would work, black would work. Then of course I went to green and black and white and black and different colors over the years. But now I think the last few years, my cars have been really, they've really been stepped up, and I can give credit to that for the guys that do the graphics. The graphic people today are just absolutely amazing. And I still don't think you can beat a painted car over a wrapped car. A painted car still shines a little bit more.
100%
so
agree.
I always paint my cars. And the 2023 paint scheme is going to be exactly like the one on the diecast car, but it's going to be paint, not it's not going to be wrapped.
So, Gary, with the Motorsports Hall of Fame induction, with the 50 years with Quaker State, 55 years behind the wheel, what else you got left to do in this sport? What else do you have box beside that Gary Elliott looks at and goes, I still got to do that, and I still got to do that? What are they?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because somebody asked me that yesterday, and I said I got two more goals. So I remember one time a few years ago, probably 10 years ago, you actually asked on your show how many people had perfect attendance.
Right.
And I had like 38 seasons back then of perfect attendance. So so we have now 875 consecutive nights since June 5th, 1987. So I was reinstated on June 5th after being disqualified for 2 weeks. I was reinstated on June 5th, 87. I haven't missed a night since then. So we're 875 in a row. And I'm hoping this year we can reach 900. So 900 consecutive nights. The NASCAR record is 798, although it's hard to compare to NASCAR. But that's what it is. We're going to try to reach 900 this year. So we need 25 nights to do it. So a guy came to my garage about 2 months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, to buy a diecast car. And he said, so you got 875 nights in a row? And I said, yeah, at the end of 2022. He said, so are you going to try for 1,000? I said, whoa. 1,000. I said, that would be, and I started thinking, I said, man, I don't see it, because that'll be 5 more years at 25 nights a year. And I'll be I'll be like 80. I'll be 80.
Yeah.
And God bless him, and I love him, and I miss him. But I said, well, but Bill Zardo's actually given me some inspiration, right? Because he did a fantastic job racing last year at 80 years old. So a smaller class, but still, you know what? Racing against a lot of guys everybody was younger than him. Yeah. But anyway, so you know what? That might be a long distance goal for me. And my family, when they hear that, they're going to just shake their head. They say, Dad, come on, like that's ridiculous. But I don't feel my age. I don't look my age.
No.
And I'm healthy, and I pray that God will give me the strength and the support from sponsors to do it. But you know what? That would be another die-cast car for sure. 1,000 in a row.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something, Gary. That would be something. But you know what? You are Mr. Something. How are the die-cast sales going before we let you go? I've got mine right here, and I know I still have one that we're going to put a contest together and give away. But how's your die-cast situation? You got many left, and how does somebody get a hold of one of these babies? Because I got one. They're going to want one.
Okay, so right now I have 450 people have paid me for a die-cast car.
Right.
And I have 520 total requests. So some of them are just, they're going to pay me later on, and I'm still holding them for them. But right. Lionel recently, just on the Friday, they put a post on their Twitter page about my car and about me being inducted into the Hall of Fame and about 50 years with Quaker State. So, wow, that was unbelievable. They did that, and I sold 4 more cars through that. Guys from one guy from Florida, another guy from Indiana. They've seen their website, so they want to buy the cars. So I still have 200 left, although I think legitimately I would probably have 170 out of the 700 left.
Right.
And if somebody wants one, they can message me at GaryElliottMotorsports@gmail.com. And I'd be glad to, send them one if they, they're $155, including shipping for most places in Ontario.
Right. And
maybe a little bit less in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're elite. They are a beautiful car. They're not plastic. They're real die-cast, and they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You got a piece of Canadian motorsports history with this, and now even more so, the Gary Elliott has been inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. Gary, congratulations. Oh, look at that. He's got it right up. Too cool, Gary.
Isn't that awesome?
That is. You wear that badge of honor, I can guarantee it. You have a safe flight home. I know you got to get to bed early. That Xfinity race is still on behind your shoulder. You want to watch the end of that and then get to bed because you got to fly back to the East Coast and get that 36 car ready to go for another full season in the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour. It's going to be a lot of fun this year, Gare.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. My pleasure.
Awesome. We'll have you back again. I know it before that green flag goes in the air. That is
all right. Gary
the Iron Man Elliott. You got to check it out. Pick up one of those die-cast cars, man. I'm telling you. Pretty cool stuff, Junior.
Yeah, for sure, and it goes a long way to support Gary's racing program and his sponsorship base. We've said it on here a number of times. Just the guy. If you are a short track racer, I don't care what level you're at, 4-cylinder, junior late model, super stock. If you're looking at your racing program and you're scratching your head and you're making posts on Facebook that you're looking for sponsors for next year and you're kicking the can down the road and you just don't have enough money to race and you hold everybody else responsible for it, don't do that.
No.
What you should do is you should message a guy like Gary Elliott and pick his brain on how to get a sponsor, how to hold a sponsor,
how to retain
how to talk to the sponsor. Gary Elliott would take the time out of his day to answer your questions, 100% guaranteed. And I tell you what, it would be worth its weight in gold. The guy understands the sport, and he understands what the sponsor gets out of the deal. And he's definitely somebody that you could rely upon, and he helps so many people in the sport. Just thinking down the list of competitors in Canadian Vintage Modifieds, Flamborough Speedway, the All-Star Series back in the day, right?
He's done it all. He's done it all, and he ain't done yet.
No, he ain't done. And, you list all the places where he's been. He didn't just go down there and race them. He was an ambassador for that series.
Yes.
And, just an incredible cat. Definitely a friend of Race Time Radio, and, congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
I seen a move one time, a young late model driver, brand new guy, yellow stripes on the back of the bumper. We're at Sunset Speedway to kick off another season. Gary had a mint 36 car, like he always does. Pulls out onto the racetrack. Heat number one of the season. Cars are circulating. Oh, everything's looking good. Green flag goes in the air. Gary is outside pole. Young kid on the inside. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want people to shoot darts at him. But he was on the inside of Gary and literally put Gary into the fence just about till there was no tomorrow and bent that car like you wouldn't believe. Mm-hmm. And I mean destroyed the 36 car.
Yep.
I thought for sure Gary Elliott was going to snap that day.
Yep.
I wouldn't have blamed him if he did. I thought he was going to, and I was going, oh, my God, I hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
Gary Elliott unbuckled out of his car, went straight over to that driver, to his window. I thought, here we go. I've never seen Gary throw a punch, but I bet you I'm going to see him pour more than coal to it this time. And what he was doing was asking the young driver if he was okay first. Secondly, do you know what you did wrong?
Yeah.
Gary was going to teach him what he did wrong, as opposed to, go after him. And it was just one of those wonders, man. I've loved Gary Elliott since the first day I seen him race, and I love him as much today, and I know fans do right across this country. If I was Quaker State, I'd be on that horn to Gary tomorrow saying, I'll take every die cast you got, and I'll give them to every Quaker State dealer from across Canada so that they can all have a piece of Canadian history. But that would be me. So I'll leave that to you. We got to hit our final break, Junior. When we come back, we got lots more to talk about. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back in just mere seconds if I can get my hand to work to hit the break.
You're listening to Canada Talks on SiriusXM, Channel 167.
RaceTime Radio is brought to you by the Quality Inn, Halifax Airport, the official stay of the RaceTime Radio broadcast crew.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere, doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. You stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, you can count on Napa know-how.
It's Canada's kickoff to 2023 at Penticton Speedway. Join us May 5th and 6th.
If you build it, they will come. The Siebert family, they're doing a great job.
It's the second annual Western Rattler 300 at Penticton Speedway, featuring Canada's top pro late models and street stocks.
Got the car on the scales right now. We're really looking forward to it.
For tickets, get to PentictonSpeedway.com. And join us live on RaceTime Radio worldwide for live flag-to-flag coverage.
Riley Siebert, the winner
of the Western Rattler 300, with competitors from across Canada and the U.S.
Now, this is my house. You're not coming here to push me around. And this is probably the biggest win of my career. So this is just one of the best nights of my life. This is awesome.
All at Penticton Speedway for the second annual Western Rattler 300.
Oh, man. Well, I'm really excited about this race. This is huge for Western Canadian racing.
Alexa, play NASCAR radio on SiriusXM.
SiriusXM NASCAR radio from SiriusXM.
Start your engine! In
access to NASCAR's biggest names.
Martin Truex Jr.
Kyle Busch.
Chase Elliott.
Hear live coverage of every single
They're
race.
side by side for the win.
It's unfiltered 24/7 NASCAR.
Welcome to Victory Lane.
We've got breaking news. Let's go to the hotline.
This is SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Listen on the app or at home on devices equipped with Amazon Alexa. Learn more at SiriusXM.com/NASCAR.
Hey everyone, this is World Series champions Lance McCullers Jr. and Carlos Correa. We're excited to announce that our podcast, The Walkout, is now available on SiriusXM.
Each episode, we go inside the world of combat sports, providing hardcore analysis, honest opinions, and top picks for every fight.
If you share the same passion for combat sports as we do, you need to listen to The Walkout.
Episodes are available on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Tonight's Racetime Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, Port Hawkesbury, New Glasgow, and Inductee, Nova Scotia.
Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome back to the track. Live on Racetime Radio, Sirius XM 167.
And welcome back, everybody, to Racetime Radio. Just shining up my Napa car, my Napa 9. He's going to win next week. I got a funny feeling.
At Vegas?
Chase Elliott.
No.
No?
No. Not
Okay,
gonna win
I'll
at
take
Vegas.
Chase Elliott for sure now.
Really?
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. Why?
Nope.
Who are you going to take?
I gotta take the old winner from today.
Hey, you know what? We say the word Vegas, and you know what I think of? Daryl Haar. Remember that name? Daryl Haar from Calgary. Daryl.
And Carl.
I want to say Carl's name was on that inductee list from the Canadian Canadian Hall of Fame.
Cool.
I got to go back and revisit that. I do believe Robert Ganu, Targa Newfoundland was on that list. I got to shake the bushes and get those guys on this show. Carl and his dad, Daryl, I met them way back, 2009-10, back in the Pinty Series. Back then it was Canadian Tire Series. They were running the Edmonton race, the Saskatoon race. Great guys, great guys. And I believe it just flashed into my mind that Carl was on that list. Or not, yeah, Carl, not Daryl.
Dad.
Yeah, Carl is the dad. Daryl is the son. But I haven't talked to those guys in a long time. Back when Daryl was running Xfinity, he said, Joe, I got to pinch myself. He was at Vegas and getting ready to go out on the racetrack, and he joined us right from the garage. And he said it's surreal because you got Nellis Air Force Base right there, and the fighter jets are taking off. And he's driving down the backstretch. He said it was so distracting because he wanted to watch the plane more so than drive the car. It's funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we'll get a hold of those guys. Just a lot of good inductees. Get to the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame website and have a look at it. I know I'm going to. Get on there and have a look. A lot of proud Canadians, and we're definitely proud of absolutely all of them. Here on Racetime Radio, because that's what we're about. Mainly about Canadian racing, if you haven't got the drift of us yet. If we haven't included you in some way, some form, some fashion, and you want to be included on Racetime Radio, your Canadian team, your Canadian car owner, and you want to be part of the show, we can make that happen. You can contact me absolutely anytime. It's joe@racetimeradio.com. Joe@racetimeradio.com. Simple. What time is it? It's race time. And my name is Joe. You can get a hold of me anytime, and we'll definitely line you up and get you on the show. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be up in Hay River and running the dirt track up there. You could be out at any of the speedways across Canada. If you got a story to be told, we want that story to be told on Racetime Radio because we got fans right across this country, and even more so now with RevTV Canada picking the signal up. Our signal goes everywhere. So you got a national stage to stand on. Hop up here on SiriusXM and hop up here on RevTV Canada and make yourself known. And we'd sure love to have you on this show. Junior, what do you got going this week? You got a busy week lined up, or
yeah,
what?
We're getting our booth set up. Of course, working with Two Speed Motorsports, getting our booth set up for Motorama. We're going to do like a mock setup on Friday afternoon. So get a mock setup just to set it all up, and working through a few.
Show next weekend?
March 10th.
Right, right. So we got a little time.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time.
We'll grab Greg next week, get him on here for a show update before we head to the show. What does
Absolutely.
that sound? Yeah, that sounds a good idea.
And working through some scheduling stuff for the summer. Didn't know what I was going to be doing. I was sitting on the sidelines for a little bit there. But going to be back spotting for Andrew Ranger in the NASCAR Pinty Series. I announced that a couple days ago. And then, unfortunately, there's a little bit of an overlap. This year, APC and the Pinty Series kind of overlaps a little bit, but I'm going to be back with Josh Stoddy.
You're good, but you can't be in two places at one time.
Correct. Yeah. So putting together a little bit of an itinerary for the middle portion of the summer, and it should be pretty cool.
Maybe I'll fill in the nights you can't. I'll go on there with Josh.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you have a car left when I'm on with them.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
A monkey could spot.
Yeah,
you just got to commit to it.
You just got to commit to it. Too funny. Junior, you have a good week, and get ready for that show. That's going to be a lot of fun, but we're back with you right here next week on Race Time Radio. Whether you're tuned in on RevTV or SiriusXM Channel 167 or any of the ways you get Race Time Radio, we surely do appreciate it. For Sue, here in the Race Time Radio studio.
Happy 29th birthday.
Happy birthday, Sue. For Sue, I am Joe Chisholm Sr. He is Joe Chisholm Jr. And for Scotty and Tim, I believe, in the RevTV studio, thank you all. And we look forward to catching you again next week right here on Race Time Radio. Have a safe week, everybody, and enjoy the end of that Xfinity race.
Thanks for listening to Race Time Radio. Visit us on the web at www.racetimeradio.com. We hope you'll join us again next time for more Race Time Radio.
Come on now, dig.
Exclusively on your home for the hardcore race fan.
Excellent, buddy, excellent.